Hi, I'm Joe Connolly. Our guest today has done something very unusual in the property maintenance business. Most companies in that business are very small town or local neighborhood businesses or the division of some large real estate owning company. However, after starting in Ditmas Park, Brooklyn, in the neighborhood there, Anthony Finkel and his employees have grown their property maintenance business to a large New York area region wide property maintenance business. Producer Neil A. Carousso will join me in this discussion too. Anthony Finkel, first of all, how did you grow your business into such a mid sized looking business?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I started my business, DPH Property Maintenance Service, back in 2013. I used to work for a marketing company where we would always talk about the value of creating a 24-hour business, a business you could create in 24 hours by putting a structure to something. Growing up in Ditmas Park, I'm very familiar with children that used to go around and ring doorbells with the shovels in the winter to do snow shoveling. So I had an idea, what if there was a service, a snow removal provider service that people could actually call and schedule an appointment. I didn't know that property maintenance was an industry at that time. And so I made flyers, passed them out before a big snowfall. That first snowfall, I got a bunch of phone calls. They called us again the next time. And when that first winter was up, people started asking us, hey, can you paint my porch? Can you clean out my garage? Can you fix my deck? And slowly through job by job, we built our capacity to now where we're servicing the metropolitan area.
What a great story. I don't know if I've ever heard one like that exactly of someone starting out shoveling sidewalks to going into this. So how how did you just rolled with it then, right? But I'm sure it wasn't that easy. Tell us more, Anthony.
Well, it's definitely been a challenge. The first few years, I wasn't sure what I was doing. I wasn't sure what to charge. I wasn't sure what was going on in the industry. But through a lot of research, a lot of trial and error, I didn't apprentice under anyone. A lot of this stuff I kind of picked up along the way. Luckily for me, I've hired some really incredible staff that have taught me as much as I've taught them. They've taught me a lot as far as some of the scope of some of the work and what goes into it. And then from there, we've done enough estimates and jobs together that I can go in and now I can look and I can say with certainty, what kind of work needs to be done, how long it's going to take, and a ballpark of what it might cost.
What's your most profitable business of all the dozen or so different services that you offer?
So we do some contracting work, home improvement stuff. I see a night, that is definitely one of our more profitable avenues. We build decks in the summer. We do landscaping. We do bathroom renovations, kitchen renovations. Those are great. But one of the best services that I find is the most profitable is our Trash Genie subscription service. It is a weekly curb appeal and curbside trash service where we go to buildings. It's great for absentee landlords. It's great for elderly, busy professionals, parents with young children. We go, we clean up the front of the property, make it look beautiful. We sort the garbage and the recycling and put it out curbside the night before for sanitation. And then we send a photo so that there's a record of it so that, in case there were any tickets, that it's documented. And it's a great service for us because one, it's reoccurring business every month, but two, it also just helps give people peace of mind.
You're talking like a veteran business owner. By the time people get to subscription services, they're usually pretty well along. 2013, you say you started your business, Anthony?
Correct,
And
correct. And
were
in
you what were you doing then? Were you in school or what?
So
In 13.
in 2013, I was transitioning. I was working for a company called Put It Chill Media. I actually was doing radio spots on Hot 97 and Power 105 commercials where we would bring in different artists and interview them, short 60 or 30-second segment about nonviolence, nonviolent solutions. Sometimes they would do a musical freestyle about something about anti-violence or putting down the guns. So I was doing that originally. That's where I learned, kind of about marketing and putting stuff together and putting things out there and, having outreach. But then I also started working for a local nonprofit in my community called the Flatbush Development Corporation, which is where I really fell in love with serving the community.
Wow. Neil?
So Joe and I have heard a lot, Anthony, about increasing home improvement projects because of the pandemic. Is that something that you're seeing as a growing service and the trash collecting because of the pandemic changes?
Oh, absolutely. So I've seen it in a few different ways. I always feel guilty when I say this, but COVID has actually increased business in my industry, and that's not just for myself, but when I speak to other contractors and people who do property maintenance services, they say that they've been slammed pretty much from March through January, and now things are picking back up now. But I think that it is a direct result of people being home. They're home, they're not going to the office as much. So now they're converting that extra room that might have had clutter in it. Now they want to clean it out, they want to repaint it, and they want to turn that into their home office or their studio space. People are just home more. So now they're taking the time to actually say, hey, well, maybe now is the time we clean out the garage. Maybe now is the time that we invest back into our home, paint that room that we've been looking at. So I definitely feel that because people are home, and then also with the trash removal, Trash Genie subscription service, people are home more, so they're producing more trash, also with more deliveries to the house. So it is an added benefit for them that they have another subscription service that can take care of it for them.
What do your customers tell you? Do they anticipate ever going back to the office? Is this something they really see as being permanent?
Well, my clients are definitely a mixed bag. Some people see this as permanent. Some of their some of the businesses that they work for have decided that they are going to keep them remote, if not permanently, but for a few months longer. Some people are getting vaccinated and are preparing to go back to the offices. But then there are also some people that never stop working. Some of my clients are essential service providers. We work for nurses, we work for teachers that are doing remote teaching, we work for people that work in supermarkets, we work with supermarkets. So there is some that have never stopped working throughout the pandemic.
So obviously you're serving essential workers as well, and I'm curious. You have the home improvement side, you have commercial side. Is home improvement more profitable right now than the commercial side? And what are the needs of the commercial real estate?
Well, both sides are profitable. We add, we do a lot of stuff with residential clients. We also work with commercial clients. One thing that's been really big with the commercial clients has been cleaning services, COVID cleaning, steaming, desanitizing, making sure that things are sanitary. Once COVID hit last March, that was a major service that people in my industry started adding, where people would not only just do a regular deep clean, but they would also do some steam cleaning to help kill any bacteria. A lot of offices that we work for, they increased, the frequency of their cleaning as far as removing their trash, cleaning all surface areas like their keyboards, their computers, their mouses, the doors, the handles, bathrooms. So people have been very, very, very careful as to not spread the COVID virus. And in doing so, the office cleaning and commercial cleanings have been on the uptick.
Anthony, how many employees do you have now?
When COVID started, we had 6 employees, 3 of them full-time, 3 part-time. Since COVID began, we have actually increased. So where other businesses were cutting back, we added on and we invested more. We're up to 10 employees. We've actually partnered with some great organizations to bring in some really qualified staff. I partnered with SUS Services for the Underserved, which is a terrific nonprofit in the city. And what they specialize in is recruiting, job training, and job recruitment placement for high functioning individuals on the autism spectrum. So we actually pulled in 3 of their staff, 3 of their individuals to add to some of our supplemental sidewalk cleaning programs. We have a couple contracts with the city. When you see the guys pushing the garbage pails down the block and cleaning up the street in the commercial corridors, we do that for the Cortellia Road commercial corridor for the Cortellia Road Merchants Association.
There are these groups in New York called business improvement districts, and they represent several well, businesses, dozens of businesses in an area. Do you have some of those as clients, the so-called bids?
So right now we work for a couple of merchants associations. They're
It's
not
very
bids yet.
similar.
Yeah, they're working on their bid formations. They have grants for that. We work with the Cortellia Road Merchants Association, which is headed up by Susan, Dina, Adam, and Nina. And they do terrific work in the community as far as keeping things clean, events to promote the small businesses. So we work with them to provide supplemental sidewalk cleaning, as we also work with the Newkirk Plaza Merchants Association. One of the other organizations that we work closely with is also the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, which is led by Randy Piers, which is actually one of my mentors.
You know, Randy's actually a good friend of Joe and mine, and has been very supportive of our Small Business Spotlight. How has Randy helped you, and how has he guided you in your journey?
Randy Piers is not just a friend of mine, but he's definitely a mentor. What he does at the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, he is a constant advocate for Brooklyn and the small business community here. He is one of the strongest voices, and he's definitely a fighter. I'm very appreciative to be able to work with him and the chamber. I went with them, with the chamber, down to DC for our federal legislative agenda, not this past year, but the year before COVID. I've worked with the chamber on many different events. I used to sit on the Young Brooklyn Professionals subcommittee as their finance and sponsorship chair. So I'm heavily involved with the Brooklyn Chamber. They do terrific work for the borough, and they are always fighting for small business owners.
So, you're going to where the money is, Anthony. Instead of going house to house like you started, you're going now to group associations. Do you think you're a born salesman? You seem to me like a born salesman, Anthony.
Um, I've always had ideas about different businesses growing up. I wanted to do like the pet detective thing and find the lost dogs and stuff like that. In college, I started an investment group with some of my friends where we would meet weekly and look at different stocks and have different picks with each other and just talk about different strategies. So for me, it's always been about connecting with people. It's always about being able to help people. And when you can help people, you're able to bring value. And when you bring value, people will pay for that.
So you learned to ask for the order, as they say, early with those notes, offering to shovel the steps and the sidewalks. What have you learned about asking for the order, closing deals, Anthony?
Well, one thing that I've learned is that you can't be afraid to fail. You have to go out and try. No matter what you do in life, it's going to be difficult and you're going to have your challenges. You have to pick yourself back up. My father always tells me it's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And that's definitely a philosophy that I live by. As far as the confidence that comes with starting a business, and then first not knowing how to charge and learning how to charge and feeling comfortable with pricing, when you understand the scope of the work that you're doing and the quality, and you're able to bring high quality, it makes it a little bit easier to stand by your pricing and to stand by your ask, because you know what you're going to bring to the table. When people hire DPH, they're getting dependability, reliability, high quality service, quick turnaround, and no nonsense. We're not going to say we're going to show up and then we don't. We're going to be there. If we say we're going to be there, we honor our commitments.
Anthony, how have you managed growth during the pandemic?
Well, it's definitely been challenging. Initially, we had to take a step back. We had to kind of see what was going on. The city was getting locked down. Everybody was afraid, myself included. My family was afraid. They didn't want, I honestly got into a couple of spats with my own family because I wanted to go out. In the beginning, building maintenance was considered an essential service provider. So we were able to continue working throughout the entire pandemic. That caused an issue for me at home with my family, but I had to explain to them that, I can't just stop. I can't stop working. So one thing for us that we did was When we realized that we couldn't continue working inside, we decided to start working outside. So instead of painting rooms and painting houses, the interior, we moved outside and started doing gutters and landscaping. When we couldn't do flooring and resanding and and refinishing floors, we went outside and started doing landscaping. That's another reason why we also started pushing our curb appeal and curbside trash subscription, just to give people that peace of mind. And also to help mitigate some of those issues, with my staff, we implement gloves, masks, hand sanitizer that we carry on us and in our van, which is like our mobile office. And then also we do temperature checks in the morning when the staff shows up for work.
Will you expand further? What are you looking at, say, the next 12 months?
The next 12 months, I really want to push this subscription program. I want to increase the amount of subscribers that we have. Right now, we're hovering around 50 subscribers. I really want to double that and get that close to 100 subscribers. That will enable me to hire a few more people and provide a few, guarantee a couple of salaries for a few people. This summer, I do want to do a couple more home improvement projects. Right now, we have, I think, 3 bathrooms lined up. And it's we're looking also at doing a deck build out in a couple of weeks. And also, we're actually going to do our first AstroTurf installation, which I'm actually excited about. Some of these projects I still have to learn, so it's cool. It's like I'm always in school. I'm still learning. So between increasing the amount of subscribers and adding a few more home improvement projects, I just want to continue to fill up the calendar, keep our schedule busy, keep my guys working. They have families at home that they need to provide for. So for me, the end goal always is to make sure that the people that I'm with, my team, my clients are taken care of, but also my staff, their well-being, their families, they're able to provide for their families. And to me, that I get the most satisfaction out of making sure that everybody else is doing well.
How do people contact you? Tell us the best way. And I notice on your website you have some very good reviews talking about how good the service is that you provide, and you show up on time and do such a great job. They're great reviews. But how can people find you, Anthony?
So thank you for that. We have some great clients. We definitely go.
They rang true too. They didn't look like they were written by your cousins. I read them closely. They look pretty good.
Yeah, no, those are all original. We go above and beyond to take care of our clients. It's very important. I always say to a client, if you're happy, we're happy. So if anybody's interested in contacting us, we have a website. It's www.dph.nyc. Or you can call our phone. You can even shoot us a text at 347-228-2625. The text message might actually be the fastest way to reach us, but on our website, you can put in for a quote request. It'll shoot us an email, and from there we can follow up and schedule either an appointment to do a site visit, or if it's something pretty simple, we can just line up a time to complete the work.
Who did your website? Did you do it yourself?
No, actually, one of my buddies, James York, he did it, and he's he's a real tech whiz. So I'm very grateful to him for putting in the time to do it, because he definitely did it for me as a bit of a favor for a friend.
It's a clean site.
Thank you.
You got to keep your costs low, right? You learned that, right?
Absolutely.
Starting out.
I mean, we even till today, when we do renovation and we do work, I'm always looking for where I can get the best price. A big part of doing home improvement work is the research. It's not about how fast you can do a project, but it's how precise, and if you can get it done correctly the first time. You don't want to have to go back and refix things that you thought were done before.
Wow. Your story, Anthony, of DPH property maintenance is the type of story, and you're the type of business owner we just love to give some publicity to salute what you're doing, because your story will inspire other people. I guarantee you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Keep up the good work, Anthony.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.